the H1B visa as dual intent. Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I will be sharing with you J1 versus H1B visa. Now, a lot of people have been asking which of the visa is better, and I'm going to task you today to watch this video, and when this video is finished, then you can put in the comment which one you think is better and which one you'd like to be on if you were supposed to be here on a international teacher journey. I've been on the J1 visa and currently on the H1B visa, and I'll be sharing my experiences as well as some things I've researched about both visas, and then you will decide which one is better. So let's get straight into it. So I did share a video earlier that talked about the J1 visa. What is it? So basically it's a cultural exchange visa, and if you want to come to the United States to teach or to lecture, and some people also come on the J1B visa in the hospitality department, that visa is what is used, while the H1B visa is an employment visa for specialty areas like teaching, technology, and different special areas. It's basically for employment. Now, with the J1 visa, you cannot come to the United States for a tenure track position on the J1 visa because, as I mentioned earlier, it's for exchange visitors, meaning they're going to go home when they're finished. And tenure track meaning you might be at that university for a long time. With the H1B visa, as I said earlier, it's for employment, and it requires at least a bachelor's degree or a higher degree. Now, with the J1 visa, it can go up to 5 years depending on what program you came on. If you came on a teaching program, your initial visa might be 3 years with an extension of 2 years, while for the H1B visa, it can go up to 6 years. Your initial visa might be 3 years with an extension of another 3 years. 5 years for J1 visa, 6 years for H1B visa. For your J1 visa, your program sponsor you a DS 2019 form, which you take to the US Embassy to get your visa stamped in your book if you are approved at the embassy. While the H1B, your school district hires a lawyer who files a petition on their behalf, and that's filed on the I-797 form, and your school district or your employer must first get an approval from the USCIS, an approval notice saying you are eligible to start working. Now, both programs, J1 and H1, you need to have some form of academic background. With the J1 sponsor, especially if you're a teacher, there are going to be requirements that you're going to need to have as a teacher. I did talk about those requirements in a previous video. And also for the H1B visa, there are requirements that you're going to need in order to get that visa, as it is called a specialty employment based visa. So you're going to have to prove to your employer for both J1 and H1B that you are eligible for this job. Now, the J1 visa, its intent is for you to come to the United States, do the job that you came to do, and go back home, while the H1B visa has a dual intent. And when I say dual intent, I'm going to explain that further. With the J1 visa, there is a 2-year residency rule that applies to it, which means after you finish your program, whether at the end of the 3 years, if you're finished, or if you got an extension and you are finished, it is required that you go back home for at least 2 years in your home country. While the H1B visa has dual intent, you can be here on the H1B visa and also be considering applying for an immigrant visa, which is, your permanent residency card or your green card, as we call it. Another thing with a J1 visa is that you can transfer from one employer to the next. It's possible for you to transfer from one employer to the next. It depends on your program sponsor and what type of partnership they have with different school districts or different employers. On the other hand, if you want to work with a new employer under the H1B visa status, then that new employer will have to file a new petition with USCIS for you to work for them. You can also have more than one H1B sponsors, meaning you have a full-time job that is sponsored by a H1B employer, and then the second company that wants you to work for them part-time or however it is you're going to be working for them, they will have to also file a new petition and explaining your job roles and functions that you'll be carrying out for their company. So you see, both the H1B and the J1 visa, you are basically tied to the company that sponsors you the visa. Whether you're on a J or H, you can only work for that employer. Whilst you can switch employers with a J1 visa, with H1, you would have to be sponsored a second time. In switching on the J1 visa, if you switch to a new employer, you are only entitled to work for that employer. And for the H visa, you can go ahead and get a second sponsor and do a second job. A lot of teachers who have intentions of teaching abroad are concerned as to whether or not their spouse will be able to work on the dependent visas. So if you are a J1 holder, then your spouse or your children will get the J2 dependent visa, while as a H1B holder, your spouse or children gets a H4 dependent visa. So here's the answer. As a J2 dependent, your spouse can apply for his or her work authorization card. Same thing as a work permit. After applying, which takes about 6 months to be completed, and they receive the approval and their work authorization card, they are able to apply for any job in the United States. As a J2 dependent, you might be able to find more than one jobs, use your work permit, and, carry on with your business. However, during the application process, you must declare your purpose for applying for a work permit. And these purposes should be for recreational reasons and not reasons to assist the J1 holder. J2 dependents are not supposed to use their salary to assist J1 holders. A lot of controversy around the eligibility for H4 holders to work has been circulating, and a lot of people are saying yes, they can work, and some are saying no, they cannot work. Well, I'm going to explain it from my point of view, from my own experiences, and you can say in the comment section if you know otherwise. Please remember, I am not a lawyer. I am only giving you information based off my personal experiences and opinions. H1B dependents, who are the H4 holders, are not permitted to work. But it doesn't end there. If the H1B holder is filing for green card status and the I-140 is approved, one of the steps while applying for the green card, if that step is approved, then the H4 dependent is eligible to apply for their EAD card, which is the work permit. If the work permit is approved, then the H4 dependent can begin working after, applying and getting a job. But you might ask, how long will that process take? It's going to depend on the H1, their company, how soon they put application in for the green card process. There you have it, guys. J1 versus H1B visa. I hope you learned something in this video, and I know some of you may still have questions after watching this video. Go ahead and put your comments or questions in the comment box below. Guys, if you can answer those questions, feel free to do so. We're all here helping each other. If you have not liked and subscribed, go ahead and like this video and subscribe. Turn your notification bells on, and I'll see you next time. Stay tuned. And remember to say which visa you prefer.